Hi guys, welcome back to Chaos the Podcast. I'm your host, Belle, and I'm so honored to have you here with me today. So today's podcast episode is how to control your emotions and how to take control of your life when you're feeling lost. So just jumping right into it. I was recently at a self-defense class. I told you guys in my previous podcast episodes that I was going to do a self-defense class, and I went, and it was really great. We learned a bunch of stuff. I'm all bruised up all over my arms. So something that I wanted to share with you guys that I learned while I was there, he talked about breathing. And I know we hear about breathing all the time. And I know people hear about it with meditation and yoga and exercising. And when you're stressed out and you need to calm down, just breathe. And we hear that, but I don't think that we've really been taught or really fully understand what that means. And something that he said in this class really kind of struck me and was kind of like an aha moment. And he talked about how breathing is different for each of your emotions. And if you think about when you're crying when you're sad versus when you're crying when you're happy, the main difference there, other than the emotion, obviously, is your breathing. When you're sad, you're sobbing and you're trying to catch your breath. And when you're happy, it's just happy tears and you're not really having a hard time breathing, right? Versus when you're angry, what that type of breathing looks like, when you're furious, when you're aggravated. So I thought that was really interesting because I had never thought about it like that, how your breathing is tied to your emotions. He talked about how when you're in, a stressful situation and you're faced with something, you're either going to be a fight or a flight. When we were practicing different movements, we would switch partners, and I would be partnered up with the instructor, and I would just be going fast and going as fast as I possibly could and reacting quickly and moving fast. And he was like, I don't want you to do that. He's like, I want this to be a muscle memory. He was like, do it slowly until you don't have to think about doing it. He was like, you're thinking about it too much and you have to pause and you have to figure out what you're doing. He was like, breathe. And I would take a deep breath and he'd be like, slow down, focus on what you're doing and just do it slowly. And then as it becomes more natural, then you can get faster with it. You want this to be an immediate reaction for your body rather than having to stop and think about it. But if you're in that moment and you realize that you're freaking out and you're panicking, then take a deep breath and just focus on your breathing and just take a minute to figure out what you want to do next. How do you want to react next in this situation? Control your emotions. I thought that was so fascinating because nobody had ever taught it to me like that or said it in that way for it to kind of click in my head. I remember being younger and someone would be like, just breathe, relax. And it would piss me off. And I'd be like, well, now I'm pissed. Now, I'm definitely not going to make a rash decision in whatever situation it was, right? Thinking of it like that, if you can control your emotions and the way that you react by controlling your breathing, you can do anything. You can control anything in your life. So kind of moving in to the next part, which ties in a little bit with the breathing. It's a bit different, but I think these two kind of go well together because they're both about controlling yourself or your life. Now, I feel a bit lost in life. I kind of feel like I have these moments where I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I? Why am I doing this? What is my purpose? For years, I feel like I've struggled with kind of finding my purpose, and I'm still definitely figuring that out. And maybe not so much my purpose, but what is it exactly that I want to do with my life? And whenever I kind of have these feelings, I call my dad and I'm a couple of months ago, I called him and he gave me some really great advice, and I've shared it on my TikTok before, and I just wanted to share it again in this podcast. And I call them Doonanisms. I have a notes section on my phone titled Doonanism, and whenever he gives me some really good life advice, I type it in there so I don't forget about it and I can come back and remind myself. Going back to what I was saying, so one of my weaknesses is that I tend to do a million things at once. I always have so many different projects that I'm working on and things that I want to do that I don't give 100% to each thing because I'm spread so thin. I also notice that I'm constantly overstimulated. I'm always either, if I'm I'm cooking, there's music playing, or I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm on the phone talking to somebody. When I sit down to eat dinner, I put a TV show on, or I put a podcast on. When I'm working out, like I don't ever work out in silence. I'm usually listening to music or a podcast. If I'm in the car, I'm always listening to something. When I go to sleep at night, I listen to white noise. There's like not a moment in my day other than like a shower that I'm not doing something or on my phone, on social media. And this is something that I've recently become aware of. It's something that I want to change in my life. And I talked previously in an episode about gratitude and taking those moments to slow down in the moment and be present in a moment. And I really want to get into trying out like meditation. I haven't tried it yet. The closest thing I've done to meditation is yoga. And I really, really love yoga. Aside from the actual like, you know, the movements and exercising and moving your body and everything, I really, really love at the end of the class, every yoga class that I've ever taken, the instructor always does this. The last like 5-10 minutes of class, they'll have you lay on your back or whatever's comfortable for you. They want you to be most comfortable. They want your body to completely relax, and they'll call out each part of your body. Like they'll call out your face and your tongue and your hands and your shoulders. And you can, like, when you're laying there, you're like, I'm comfortable. And then they call out that body part and you're like, oh shit, that's actually tense. And then you like release it and you get into this moment of complete relaxation, and you focus on your breathing and you control your breathing. And the instructors, they remind you to be grateful, to thank your body like for what you just did, for being able to move. They tell you to reflect, what are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for in your life? What are you hoping to accomplish today? And you're just completely present in that moment and reflecting and appreciating everything. It's like this moment of just quiet, and you can lay there. And sometimes I like borderline fall asleep because I'm so relaxed, and I want to incorporate more of that into my everyday life, like taking 5-10 minutes to just sit and just relax and just think to myself what I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for, what I've accomplished today and every day. And that goes along with the breathing. And I followed this guy on Instagram. His name's Arlin Moore. I'll tag his Instagram below. He has a lot of really great YouTube videos. He's very active on Instagram stories, and he posts whenever he's thinking about something, he like posts it, and he goes into great detail. And he talked about meditation recently, and he did this, like, he had like, if you read it through the stories, he had you go through this breathing exercise. And it was the first time I had ever really experienced meditation. And I was like, whoa, like I never understood that until like the way he said it. And it was so interesting to me. And the only other time that I felt that was at the end of like a yoga class with an instructor leading that. And it's all tied to breathing. All of them talked about breathing. And I thought it was just so fascinating when I had heard that instructor talk about that in class. Breathing controls your emotions, and it controls everything. And I just want to make that clear. I feel like I've maybe beat a dead horse on this one, and I've kind of bounced around. Sorry, I should have made a better like layout of notes for myself. I hope you're keeping up with this conversation with myself. But so going back again to the Doonanism. So if you're feeling lost, first I want you to take a moment and take 5-10 minutes and do a breathing exercise and just reflect and be grateful and thank your body and look at what you have accomplished. Stop looking to the future of stressing yourself out and being like, oh, I'm so far behind. I have so much to do. I haven't accomplished this yet. Like, no. First, look at what you have accomplished and be grateful and thankful for everything that you have and you've done and the people that you have in your life. Then, when you're ready, and you've controlled your breathing and you've had that moment with yourself, then I want you to move forward, and I'm going to give you the Doonanism that my dad gave me. And this was like a holy shit moment. So I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I'm feeling lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to work towards what I'm working towards. I feel like I'm working towards it, but it's not working. I'm not getting the results that I want, the outcome that I want. I was like, I know that I want to be an entrepreneur. I just don't know what business what that looks like or what I want to start. In my master's program, there's been quite a few people who've gone out and started coffee shops or a coffee brand. and they talk about the stories and the commitment that they had to do to make that happen. And it's so incredible to hear what they've done, and they like the stories of like starting in their garage and doing everything by hand, and now they have a big warehouse and how much they've grown and all this kind of stuff. And it's so inspiring, but it also like scares me because I'm like, I have no idea what I want to do. Do I want a product? Do I want a service? Like, because I know I don't want to do a coffee shop. Like maybe like down the line, my sister and I've talked to my best friend Brittany about starting a coffee shop with her, and like, but that isn't a passion to me. That would be something that like I would do on the side for like fun extra project, because I enjoy drinking coffee and I enjoy the person who would really be leading that project. That wouldn't be my project though. And so anyways, I'm like explaining this to my dad, and he says, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to start small, and you have to be the best at one thing. What do you want to do right now? What interests you? And I was like, okay, start small, pick one thing. That's definitely something that I'm not doing in my life. I was like, I'm doing 10 million things, being pulled in a bunch of different directions. And then he says, you might do deals just to throw them away. Just do the deals. What he meant by that was there's going to come opportunities and you're like, this isn't exactly what I want, but I guess it's working closer to what I want. Take those opportunities, take those deals. From that, you're going to learn more about what you do like and what you don't like. Don't get hung up on anything. Just do shit to learn and to experience. From there, you can branch out after you've learned and experienced things, because then you'll know what you want to go further into. Because right now you're in this place of, I have no idea what I want. So you need to go out and you need to try something so you can figure out what it is that you do want. You're not figuring out what to do with your life. You're figuring out what you don't want to do, because we constantly feel like we're trying to find that one thing. And I want to talk about like Kim Kardashian, for example. And I know a bunch of people hate the Kardashians, but I find them to be very interesting, and I find their businesses to be very interesting. But I want to talk about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's been pretty relevant for a lot of her life, and she has started many businesses. She's had clothing lines at like Sears or JCPenney or something. She's had perfume brands. She's started several of her own businesses. She actually had a previous skincare brand. I don't remember the name of it, but she like started that with some company. She has worked on so many different projects, and I feel like she has finally figured out her thing. And Skims, she does Skims so well, and it makes sense for her brand. She's always been known for this person who has always worn tight fitted clothing. Her body looks a certain way. And for her to come out with a shapewear brand was a genius idea. And now she's like branched out into so many different things. She's got swim lines, bras, underwear, comfortable clothes, like you name it. She's just expanded into everything with this brand, and it just fits her and it makes sense. But it's taken her a long time to get there. She's started so many different projects and she's done so many different things to find that one thing that she's really, really good at. When you're chasing your dreams, you can't chase your dreams once a week. You need to be chasing your dreams 6 days a week. And my dad tied this into eating pizza. If you want to lose weight, you can't eat pizza 6 days a week. You can only eat pizza 1 day a week, right? If you're eating pizza 6 days a week and you're like, why am I not losing weight? Like, why do you think you're not losing weight? You're eating pizza every fucking day of the week. And when you are working towards, a goal and a career, and if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be working like 24/7 all the time. I think they've like demonized 9-to-5 jobs. Right now in this moment, to me, that is a nightmare. That is a very sad life that I don't want to live. I would rather be working towards something my whole life. My dad and I talk about like how there's different types of people, and one is not better than the other. It takes a village. You need someone in every role. And I talked to my dad, like I was like talking about how I can't understand how people want to stay in my hometown. I was like, I can't wrap my head around that. And he was like, Isabel, there's people who can't wrap their head around the fact that you moved across the country to Los Angeles. Like that to them is a nightmare. And you staying home in your hometown, that to you is a nightmare. He's like, it takes a village. He's like, imagine if everyone wanted to move to LA. He was like, it's already overcrowded and expensive enough. If everybody was moving to LA, like that couldn't happen. That's physically impossible. So what I'm going to say, when I say this, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I have a personal opinion, and everybody can have their own personal opinion. So when I think about like my career, like I think about working towards something that I'm extremely passionate about all the time. And that's okay to me. And I don't want the job of the 9 to 5 and then you get out of work and you make dinner and you go to bed and you do it all again the next day. My dad and I like kind of looked at how there's the people who like work the safe, secure jobs. Those are the type of people, they plan one big vacation every year and they look forward to it. And when they're on vacation, they're on vacation. 100% phone off, don't talk to me, I'm on vacation. And then there's people, and I feel like my family's like more like this. We go on a bunch of vacations throughout the year, but they're not really vacations. They're like work trips, but like it's like a work hard, play hard. Like we mix them both together. So we're never fully on vacation. We're always like working while we're on vacation. And that to me, that's the life I want to live. I want to be working on vacation. I don't want to have 1 week that I look forward to. I want every day to be like exciting and being in the moment and working towards what I want to do. I don't want to have to escape from my reality. That's just my mindset. But I mean, everybody's got their own thing and that's totally fine. Like I said, one is not better than the other. There's just different kinds of people. Back to the Doonanism. So my dad talked about how it's going to be a 12-year journey to be successful. You need to be ready to give up anything and everything. You need to be ready to be poor as fuck for 12 years. And you need to grind every fucking day. So back to like that pizza thing. If you want to lose weight and you want to be super fit, if you want to be a bodybuilder, I think about this girl that I went to high school with, Rachelle Mejia. She recently, in the last year, I think, she's become a bodybuilder, and she went and in her first year, she got like, I don't know if she got more than one pro card. I don't even know if it's pro card. I'm not 100% in it, understand it because I'm not in that world, but she dedicated herself and she's posted like she completely changed her diet. She has a trainer. She's doing these crazy workouts. She's so dedicated. When she was on work trips, she would like stick to her meal plan, and like it was so admirable. And she works towards it every single day. Even when she's on vacation, even when she's away for work, she finds a way to fit in her workout and she eats what she's supposed to eat. She doesn't fuck up. She grinded her ass off for like, I don't know if it was a year. I'm going to say it was a year, but I could be wrong. She grinded her ass and then she went and kicked ass and got pro, like in her first year. Like that's so fucking cool. But that is what I'm talking about. When you have something that you want, you can't work at it every other day and think that you're going to blow up or that thing's going to become successful and you're going to reach what you want it to reach. You have to work at it every single day and work your fucking ass off. What does Kim say? I feel like, what did she say? She's like, I feel like nobody wants to work these days. Get off your ass and work. Get off your ass and work. I want to make that poster. You know who I want? This girl, another girl I went to high school with. I think her name is Becca or Beck. I don't know if she goes by Beck, but I think it's Becca Ramos. I think I'm saying her last name right. I've never actually spoken to her in real life. I just know her name from like Instagram. I think it's Becca Ramos. She lives in New York. She's this incredible artist. And I've messaged her several times and I'm like, I told her, I go, I'm moving out of this apartment in May and I'm going to have like my next apartment, I'm hoping, is going to be like a long-term, I'm going to be there for a couple of years apartment because I'm so sick of moving around, but that probably isn't going to happen. I told her I'm actually going to hang art in this apartment and I want you to make it. And maybe I'll get that stupid Kim K quote, get off your ass and work. I'll put it in my office. Anyways, this next question that I'm about to ask you is really big. It's a big fucking question. And it's going to be like, ooh, it's going to make you realize. If you want to know, if you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do with your life, what's the one thing that you would want to do for the next 12 years and not get paid for it? What is your passion? Holy shit. When my dad asked me that, I was like, oh, damn. And for me, my answer is like this podcast. doing YouTube videos, doing TikToks, doing Instagram reels, posting Instagram stories, just posting on Instagram in general. I've been doing it for years, not getting paid, and I love it. And I'm probably going to keep doing it for the next 10 years and not get paid, and I'm still going to love it. This to me is so much fun. For whatever reason, I really enjoy this. Sharing my opinion with you guys, sharing things that I've learned with you guys, hoping to help you guys. Like this shit excites me. Talking about this kind of stuff, talking about things that I'm interested in and passionate about, and just sharing it with people. Like that shit is so cool to me. I don't know why, but like this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 12 years and not get paid for it. And I'm not fantastic with consistency and posting every single day, but I'm trying. I do have like a million other things going on. And I'm not making excuses. I'm being like, for real. Like I'm in a master's program right now. I'm also in the Air National Guard. I'm also starting a full-time social media marketing job in February. So like, I've got a lot going on. So this to me, this is a passion for me. I look forward to this. I think this is fun. I would really love one day for this to turn into like a full-time career. But until then, I'm totally okay with doing this, not getting paid, even if it was the next 12 years of my life, the next 20 years of my life. Like that's okay with me. I love looking back on some of them are a little bit cringy, but I most of the time I like to look back on this and be like, oh my gosh, I was so cute then. Like I was so young. I was so naive. I had no idea what was coming or how many good things were coming. And it's such a good like memory box. I'm always the friend who has like the cool, my phone is loaded with all the cool pictures and the cool videos of everyone else. No one ever gets the cool shit of me, but I have the cool shit of my family and all my friends. You're welcome, guys. Can you take some pictures of me? But everybody gets annoyed when I ask to take pictures. Everyone's like, you always want pictures. Well, fuck yeah, because no one takes any of me. What the fuck? If I don't have you do it, who's gonna do it? We're a bit off topic here. Anyways, what's the one thing you'd want to do for the next 12 years and not get paid for it? Doonanisms. Let me tell you, that dude's smart. He's smart. He's real smart. I'll give you this story because the story's going to come out eventually. So I went home a couple years ago for Christmas and I got a little skunk. I drank a little bit heavy and I told my dad, my sister and my stepmom were like sitting watching a movie or something. And I was like, Dad's my favorite person. And they were like, we know. And I was like, no. Like I was like, I love everyone. I love all of you equally. I was like, but he is like my favorite person. And I really remember saying this, but like, I don't remember like thinking that would be an okay thing to say. To this day, they haven't let it go. Basically everything that my dad says I think is golden. He could be like, the sky's purple, and I'd be like, I mean it probably is. It's probably the reflection of the earth. That's why we think it's blue. Like something ridiculous. Not really. I'm being extremely sarcastic, but kind of not. No, but he's just a smart dude and I just trust him. I trust him with anything. Anyways. So this is really off topic. But anyways, Doonanism. I told him, I was like, Dad, I want to have you on the podcast because everything I say is basically something that you've told me. Like, we should hear it from you. You need to get the credit. And he was like, no, I don't think I could do a podcast. And my sister and I were like, you could totally do it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up right now. I think that's all that I wanted to say. I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, yeah, it looks like I hit everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a little bit chaotic, but I mean, the podcast name is literally chaos. So like, I feel like I can use that as an excuse, like, right? That makes sense. That makes sense to me, so I'm going to take it. This is not perfectly organized because the name of the podcast is Chaos, so it's going to be a little bit chaotic, so you just kind of have to take it as it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it and you're listening on a podcast platform, please rate it 5 stars and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys again. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I wish you guys to have a fantastic, chaotic rest of your week and go kick some ass. Okay. Love you. Bye.